It's November 24th, 1971. A man in a dark suit and sunglasses, briefcase in hand, calmly walks up to the Northwest Orient Airlines counter in Portland, Oregon. He asks for a one-way ticket to Seattle. His name, Dan Cooper. He pays in cash. Back then, you didn't need an ID. He boards Flight 305, a Boeing 727, settles into his seat in the back, lights a cigarette and orders a bourbon and soda. It's the day before Thanksgiving, just another holiday flight. Or so it seemed. Less than 30 minutes after takeoff, as the plane cruised over Washington, the man called Dan Cooper handed a note to the flight attendant sitting nearby. Thinking it was his phone number, she just slipped it into her pocket. He leaned in and whispered, "Miss, you'd better read that. I have a bomb." In that one quiet moment, an ordinary flight became the most daring and baffling crime in American aviation history. This is the story of D.B. Cooper, the man who hijacked a plane, demanded $200,000 and then vanished into the night, never to be seen again. He never raised his voice. He never even showed the bomb if there was one. Witnesses described him as polite, well-spoken, maybe in his mid-40s. He was about 6 feet tall, with dark slicked-back hair, no accent. This guy knew exactly what he was doing. After the plane landed in Seattle, Cooper kept the 36 passengers on board while the FBI scrambled on the ground below. They rushed to deliver his demands. 10,000 $20 bills all photographed and marked Dan for parachutes. As soon as the cash and chutes were on board, he let all the passengers go. Only the pilots, one flight attendant, and Cooper himself remained. Then came his next set of instructions. He told the crew to refuel and fly to Mexico City, but he had very specific conditions for the flight. They had to fly low, under 10,000 feet, slow, under 200 knots, flaps down, landing gear down, and most importantly, the rear air stair, their staircase at the back of the plane, had to be lowered in flight. The Boeing 727 was one of the only commercial planes in the world that could even do that. It was a detail that showed he'd done his homework. Somewhere over the rugged black forests of southwest Washington, in the middle of a freezing rainstorm with 70-mile-an-hour winds whipping outside, D.B. Cooper made his move. He clipped on a parachute, tied the bag of money around his waist with a spare cord, walked to the back of the plane, opened the air stair, and stepped out into the roaring darkness. The crew in the cockpit just felt a slight bump in the cabin pressure. That was it. He was gone. What followed was one of the most extensive manhunts in U.S. history. Search planes, helicopters, and hundreds of ground troops combed every square mile of the dense, unforgiving wilderness. They found nothing. No body, no parachute, no briefcase, no bomb parts, just miles of forest and a swirling storm of rumors. For 8 long years, the trail was completely cold. Then, in 1980, a little boy was digging on a sandy riverbank along the Columbia River. He uncovered 3 rotting packets of $20 bills, just over $5,000 in total. When the FBI checked the serial numbers, they had a match. It was Cooper's ransom money. To this day, it's the only solid piece of evidence ever recovered from his daring escape. The FBI chased down more than 1,000 suspects over the years. They investigated disgruntled engineers, ex-paratroopers with gambling problems, and quiet loners who suddenly vanished. One man even confessed on his deathbed only to fail a lie detector test. The family of another suspect turned in a parachute and the tie Cooper had left on the plane, but the DNA didn't match. Speaking of that tie, it held a tantalizing clue. Under a microscope, investigators found rare particles of pure titanium on the fabric. This suggested Cooper might have worked in a very specific field, like aerospace or chemical manufacturing. It's the kind of detail that keeps amateur detectives and internet sleuths awake at night, trying to connect the dots. After 45 years of dead ends, the FBI officially closed the case in 2016. They said they'd spent enough taxpayer money chasing a ghost. The statute of limitations had already run out years before anyway. But D.B. Cooper never really disappeared. He became a legend, a folk hero, the guy who beat the system. People wrote songs about him. Hollywood made movies. There are t-shirts, posters, even an annual festival in Ariel, Washington, where crime buffs and skydivers gather to drink beer and argue about where he might have landed. So, what really happened to him? Did he die that night? His body lost forever in the vast wilderness? Or did he somehow survive the impossible jump and start a new life, sipping bourbon somewhere and laughing at the whole world? We may never know the truth, but we do know this. On a rainy Thanksgiving Eve in 1971, one man proved you could hijack a plane, collect a fortune, jump into the darkness, and vanish like smoke. And more than 50 years later, the legend of D.B. Cooper is still falling through the sky. If this incredible story gave you chills, hit that like button and drop your wildest Cooper theory in the comments below. Share this video with a friend who loves a good unsolved mystery. And make sure you subscribe for more real crimes that sound like they came straight from a movie script. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss our next case. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.